Hello all, today I'm going to show you how to change the heating element on your Samsung dryer. The model that I'm working with is a DV220A dryer, but this process should work pretty much for most of the Samsung dryers. I hate long videos and this one is long, so I'm going to break this down into two parts. Part 1, this video, I'll be taking apart the dryer, troubleshooting the heating element, and determining whether the heating element is the root cause. Part 2, I'll be fixing the problem and successfully put her back together. Let's go. The first thing we're going to have to do is take off the top. And we do this by coming around to the back and unscrewing two screws. We're going to unscrew this screw. And where's she at? This screw. Once we take off both screws, then we're going to slide the top back and pull it off, just like that. Next, we're going to take off this front panel. We're going to unscrew these 3 screws right here. Lift it up and slowly pull it out, and we have to make sure we disconnect these power cables. Done. The next step is taking off the front door. After you take out all the screws, you have to push down on these 2 tabs and lift up because there's 2 slots in the bottom. Be sure to keep track of all your screws because you will be taking out a lot of screws. I put all my screws on a piece of paper, drew a box around them, and labeled it like front door, and put a piece of tape so I don't lose them. Get these 2 suckers out of here, and be sure you take out this cable right here. Lift up, little tabs. Next, I don't know what he's called, but as you can see, the drum is behind it. So take his ass out too. Comes right out, just pops right out like that. See, wasn't that bad? Next, you want to take the cable harness out of the wire management, disconnect this cable, and then move these guys over to the side. The cable management just twists, and that's it. Real easy. And don't forget, there's a cable at the bottom of power cable. You have to disconnect this as well. Next, we have to take out the following screws. There's a lot of them too, which will help us take out this assembly unit or whatever the hell it's called. I'm telling you, I'm not technical with these names. That's why I'm an amateur. But yep, take your screws out and then just remove her. This will allow you to get to your drum. Once you took all the screws out, lift it up and pull it out. You guys have to forgive me because I struggled a little bit and my face was all up in the scene, so I had to edit. Now, I want to show you guys this because it's very important for the next step, which is removing the drum. That drum has a belt on it, which is what you see in my hand right there. That black cable thingy is the belt. That's the belt. So the problem is that belt is very tight around the drum. I mean, very, very, very tight. That's what she said. In order to get that belt off, you have to get on the ground, reach your hand up under the drum, and you got to push this pulley back to the left. And I know you hear me explaining it, but it didn't make any sense until you see it. That's what you're going to have to do to that pulley. When you push that pulley to the left, you're going to then slide that belt right off. It comes right off. Just push it right off. And as a result, it'll loosen up the tension on the drum. And then all you have to do is just remove the belt, pull the drum out. As you can see, I got lint on my elbow, linty ass elbows because I was on the ground. But look, the belt was real loose. It just lifted up, pulled the drum right out. It slides right out. Now, the drum is out. Now we have access to the chassis that houses the heating element. I had my dryer for about 12 years. Oh yeah, the chassis that houses the heating element is this guy right here. So, look at this. You're looking at 12 years worth of lint. So I'm going to vacuum this out real quick before I keep going. You don't want no 12 years of lint slave in my mouth. Now, that looks a little bit better, and we can keep going. So, I want you guys to know that it's important for you to take note of these cables and how they're labeled out. And you want to know how they're connected to that housing unit prior to you disconnecting it. Okay. In order to take out the housing unit, you have to remove this screw right here. And then slightly lift it up because there's a little notch in there and pull it out. One screw, lift up, pull it right out. Comes right out. Very easy. There she is. There she is. You guys did it. Next, you want to set your multimeter to its lowest ohms settings. For me, 200 is my lowest ohms for this multimeter. Once you set your ohms, you want to zero it out or calibrate it, and you do that by touching these two leads together like that. I already did it on mine, so as you can see, I'm already zeroed out, which is why I just didn't touch the contacts right there. But that's what you have to do. Just touch the contact leads and it zeroes out. If you guys like this multimeter, click on the link below my video and you can get this multimeter from my affiliate link. Thank you very much. However, in order to test continuity of your heating element, you want to take your black probe and your red probe and you want to touch those contact leads. And if you don't get any movement on your multimeter, meaning it stays at 0 or 0L, that means you're not getting any continuity and that your heating element is broke. If that number right there, that 0L, is going up, that means your heating element is not broke. As you can see, I'm getting nothing. I'm getting 0, which tells me we found the culprit. Now, I'm going to give you guys some professional amateur advice. Since you already have this thing out, this chassis, this heating element chassis houses 3 things. It houses the heating element, it houses a thermal fuse, and it also houses a thermostat. Since you have this thing out, you might as well change the thermostat and the thermal fuse, because chances are, if the heating element went, those are going to go anytime. So instead of doing this work twice by taking everything apart, you already have it open, change them. Change everything within that chassis so it's all like new. All right, it's just word of advice from me to you. I love you all. Thank you very much. Now, let's open this sucker up. It's pretty straightforward. Some screws, just unscrew them. Go for it. Here it is, guys. Here is what we just worked for. Here's a heating element. All it is a spring. Hey, real quick, one last thing is, in order to fully pull this thing out, you have to snap off those tabs that we put the multimeter probes on. So you have to snap those off with a plier and then they'll slide right out on the other end. So I snapped them off. I had to edit it because it was that was real sloppy. But here it is. It slid right out. Once I snapped them off, I really struggled with that one. And that's it. Pulled out the heating element, examine it, see where the break is at. Usually there's just a straight break in there. And that was the case with mine, which I'll show you in a second. So with that being said, we are done with video 1. When you're ready for video 2, please click on the link below. I'll have that ready for you. And there's a snap. This is what it looks like. This is why my thing didn't dry my clothes. So with that being said, you are watching If I Can Do It, You Can Do It. I am the amateur's amateur. I hope this video was informative and thank you very much for viewing.